Truman, and I grew up in New Zealand and have now lived in Australia for about 30 years, so longer than I lived in New Zealand, oh my goodness. I am a mum to 4 children and I'm a grandma to 2 little boys who I love dearly. And I always wanted to be the mum. I always wanted to be the mum at home around my kids, but I also actually always wanted to be a businesswoman, and I have run businesses now since I was in my early 20s. And I love my businesses, but I did find that being my own boss, I didn't have any freedom. I was tied to my businesses. And it was a friend of mine in Sydney, Carol, who introduced me to Nu Skin, and my skin really needed some help. And she introduced me to Nu Skin. She told me to stop using all the crap that I was using and use this stuff. So I did, and it made such a difference. I loved those products so much. She also kept telling me to do the business, but I didn't want to do it. I considered myself shy. I was terrified of sales, terrified of network marketing, and it was definitely not something that I understood or even wanted to do. So today I would really love to share with you all that at some stage we need to make a definite decision about actually doing this as a business properly. Now I'll tell you a bit more about my story, but at some point you have to make a definite decision about this business. I also want to share with you that it's really, really important to really connect with the emotion of your why, the heart of your why, the reason why you want to do this business, and to keep that in mind all the time. And I also want to let you know from my experience that if you haven't yet achieved the success you want, and you haven't grown your business as fast as others, you are not a failure. You are actually just growing your story as I grew mine. And initially, my story was very, very slow. So I started Nu Skin 17 years ago, and I was pregnant with my 4th child, with Jessie, and I had a great result with the products. I loved them. I was desperately looking for a way to work from home. I had businesses, and at that stage, I was looking for another way to make money. I really wanted to work from home. I really wanted to be around my kids. My oldest was 15 in high school, part-time jobs, learning to drive, and here I was with a new baby, and my life was crazy, and I just had to somehow keep it together, but I had to earn money. So I was looking for a way, and despite my hesitancy, and I had a lot of it, in regards to working Nu Skin, I hated sales still. I hated network marketing. Well, I just thought it was the most horrible thing in the world. I thought I can share the products with people. So I began to share the products with people when I was 6 months pregnant. Now I became an executive or brand rep 2 weeks before I gave birth. So I was cutting it fine, but I managed to do that. But then, because of my hang-ups, because of the things that I was resistant to, I seemed to start going around in circles and up and down like a roller coaster ride. I have to admit that like I said, I didn't like following up. I didn't even like inviting. I was really resistant to change. I was really resistant to advice. So I'm really sorry, and I apologize right now to all my uplines. So I did that roller coaster ride for 7 to 8 years. Just, go up a pin, down a pin, up a pin, down a pin. And it was frustrating to say the least. But as I say, I was very persistent with my resistance to change. But everything changed the day that my best buddy in the business, Karen Millers, became Diamond. Now, Karen and I had found each other in the business. We'd gone on a couple of trips together, and we had decided that we were going to come Blue Diamonds together. So we were doing this together. And so she rang me to tell me she just got to Diamond. And that day, my business had crashed back down to Lapis. So, I was really happy for her. I was absolutely gutted. I was gutted that I had let myself down. I was gutted that I hadn't pushed through my obstacles, my objections, my fears. I felt like a failure. And I also knew I was really worried about what other people were thinking about me. And I also knew that I had kept my dream really, really small. I had made it about me and all the things that I was uncomfortable with and what I didn't want to do. And that had been at the expense of my own success, but also other people's success. I hadn't helped anyone else become successful. And my why was about empowering and inspiring my children. And I hadn't done that either. So I was in a real state where I had to make a decision. Now, my decision was, would I quit and just go find a job? or would I sort myself out, get over myself, and actually get on with it? It was a really hard decision. So when I say at some time in your business life, you have to make a decision, often there is a defining moment that will happen, that you need to dig deep and go, what do I really want? So, this really made me realize that that basically my excuses didn't cut it. I had to take personal responsibility for my own behavior and stop on my bad habits. And that decision, follow the system, had to follow the advice, and I had to start doing work consistently and face all my fears and do it right. So it was from that point that I set my eyes back onto my why, onto the heart of why I actually even wanted to do this business, and that was for my children. I wanted to inspire them. I wanted to empower them. I wanted to provide for them. And I also wanted to change other people's lives. And I wanted to change my own life. So I finally, at year 8, started to take the action that I should have always taken from the beginning. I consistently got out of my comfort zone. I consistently did the things that I knew I had to do, whatever it took. I consistently did the work of the business, and I fell in love with the work of the business. And I fell in love with helping other people change their lives and being an example to my children. And from that point, after 8 years of this painful roller coaster ride, and slow learner, oh my gosh. So that actually changed my life, really changed my life forever. And I'm so grateful every day that that moment happened. So thank you, Karen, for being so wonderful as you are. I remember a few years ago, I was having one of those really guilty mummy moments, and any other mum on this call will actually understand this. I was having a chat to my oldest daughter, and I was thinking, what was their life like? So I said, honey, what was it like for you when you grew up? Was it okay? Like, I was always working like a mad woman. I was always rushing around, and our lives were crazy. And you're in the car, and I was just, always on the go. And because I was really worried that they could possibly be resentful for the way that I had worked so hard. Because I had friends who had never worked, and they always made me feel guilty. Anyway, she answered me immediately, and she said, Mum, you taught me that if I want anything in my life, all I have to do is set a goal, put my head down, work really hard, and I can have anything I want in my life. Oh, so that brought me to tears. It made me realize that our children, they watch us way more than they listen to us. And so it made me realize that my dream and my why had come true. I didn't know then that I was teaching my children that they could have anything they wanted in their life if they just set a goal and they went after it. But that's what my life showed them. So throughout these 17 years with Nu Skin, I consider myself incredibly blessed. I am grateful every day for this opportunity, what it has given me, and these amazing products. And after watching this morning, who isn't excited about Vera? I just think this is a game changer. I think that we are going to be able to empower ourselves and also our brand reps and our brand affiliates to be able to recommend product with confidence and clarity. And I love it when I hear the founders speak. So today, listening to Steve, oh my gosh, I was in Malawi with Steve a couple of years ago, and he's such an amazing man. And yesterday with Sandy, I was so inspired. So I love hearing our founders and our leaders, corporate leaders, speak, because they show the heart of the company. They show such integrity. They show such wisdom. And in regards to Malawi and the Nourish the Children thing that we've seen today, like I say, I was blessed back in 2017 to go to Malawi. And I saw firsthand the incredible work that Nu Skin does and the difference it makes. I actually went to Malawi a few days earlier than what I needed to be there. And so I spent some time while I was there exploring orphanages that didn't belong to Nu Skin, that weren't funded by Nu Skin. I wanted to see what it was like for those kids in Malawi that hadn't had this impact, that didn't have the touch of Nu Skin on them. And it was heartbreaking. I was in an orphanage. There was just children everywhere. They were under-resourced. They didn't have what they needed. They didn't have the care or the love or the education, the clothes. And, you know, that day, actually, Maura and I spent the day at that orphanage, and we came out covered in bruises because the kids clamoured and wanted to be on our lap the whole time, covered in all sorts of body excrement that you don't want to know about. But it was life-changing. And I realised when we went to the orphanages the next few days of Nu Skin, that what Nu Skin does in Malawi is so impactful, because the children that we met were well clothed, well fed, loved and educated, and really functional in the community. So the Nourish the Children program isn't just feeding a child, it's impacting a child, it's impacting a family, it's impacting a village and a community, and it's changing the lives of the Malawians. So I absolutely cannot tell you how impactful this. Actually, I've got one little story to tell about that, and that is I was waiting for Moira at the airport in Lilongwe, and upstairs on the waiting, and there's two American girls there, and so I just started chatting to them, finding out what they were doing. They were working in an orphanage, and they asked me what I was doing there, and I said I just had come to have a look at the programs that Nu Skin run. One of them is the Nourish the Children, and I just went, oh my gosh, we just fed 400 children this morning with your vitamin porridge. Please say thank you to all the people of Nu Skin for the donations, because our 400 children get fed every day with your vitamin meal. And you know what, that was another tearful moment for me, because it was like, this is working, this actually is making an impact. So it's so amazing. And then the last speaker we just had, Graham, I have to mention, you are my hero. You were one of the ones that helped me through all my hard decisions, and you're the one that I didn't listen to when I should have. But you know, you have so much wisdom and strategy, and I love that you've always taught me that this is a opportunity of business and product. So thank you so much.